You know what? It was a post. Speaking of Nelly, I don't know if y'all seen it. It was a post going around. He said, he's like, listen, man. He said his era, that like that 2007 or 2011, he said that was the hardest era of music to keep up. He's like, here it is. I'm going up for the number one spot against Jay-Z, 50 Cent, DMX. Eminem, he was going crazy, like, and I still made it through all that. Luda, he was going crazy.
I saw that clip,
and
I tried to argue it, but the reason why I couldn't argue it no more because you look before that era, it a lot of things were still bubbling. It really wasn't cemented yet. Now you have then
them boys always
artists with you had artists who had heat.
Yeah,
back then it was. Damn it, one by one, but it was like, I don't want to say one at a time, but everybody had their time.
Basically, a Biggie, Tupac. Yeah. Before that,
right? But the music wasn't so.
Wu-Tang.
I said the music wasn't so readily available, like it was in that time than it was then.
Yeah.
Which means is that, they really depend on the rollout of it. It had to be pushed so hard and everything, and then too at that time. Certain music wasn't played on certain coasts, certain areas. So you didn't hear West Coast on the East Coast that much, or vice versa. During that time, which Nelly's talking about, we talking about music being played globally at the time. So then you talking about somebody like DMX dropping 2 number ones in 1 year?
Yeah, that was in 98.
Right, so you doing that. Then you got Nelly doing what he did. Then you got Ludacris coming out of fucking nowhere doing what he did. Then you still got Eminem doing fucking Diamond
coming up behind him.
On top of that, you're fighting Pop.
I was just gonna say Nelly was in that unique bracket of fighting rap and pop.
Yeah.
Him, 50,
Jay.
I don't want to say Jay, even though Jay was popular. I don't know if he was actually pop.
Yeah,
he was maybe considered pop in the conditions of like him with the breakthrough of like Hard Knock Life and then the hits that would come after that.
He didn't.
But if you're talking about like the pop, like Nelly,
like
those
consistent radio hits.
We talking about consistent radio hits and plus 5+ million records sold.
That was them. I'm not saying Jay didn't have it, but not like Nelly did.
But
not
Jay
like
the cool part about Jay, like even though he wasn't like he was mainstream. But he still kept like a certain like aura of being
because his fan base really appreciated it because of when he started. So you got him like what late 90s really 96. So right. So you got Reasonable Doubt. That fan group, that fan base has still carried on. So that fan group wasn't looking for singles; they were looking for his album.
Yeah,
they were looking for his album, but I have to agree with 50 on this. As Jay was great at marketing himself as the guy when you can make arguments that he probably wasn't. Guy.
Definitely. I agree.
We're talking about like total success. So like when you put Jay in the Hard Knock Life era, the guy that he was going against was X, who had the 2 platinum albums in a year.
And X, but Jay told you this himself.
When you put Jay in the Blueprint era. And you talking about actual sales, not quality of music. We're talking about business acumen of a total pop star. You're talking about Jay, Nelly, and Eminem. And then people will look at those people for sales and how it's marketed as they are the better, like, quote unquote, better artists. And Jay was still put in that position as the best artist, regardless of not selling the most.
I think because what he did was so smart. Was that he didn't make himself readily available.
Yes, he did.
Meaning this, you didn't see then. Who was doing more interviews then, Jay or Eminem?
That was probably Eminem.
Who was doing more interviews than him and Nelly?
Definitely Nelly.
Yeah, Nelly.
So what I mean is he wasn't as accessible as they were. So which gives you just a smidge of stigma. All you need is a little bit to people, and then for people to say, okay. He's doing this because he's cool.
I give you that, but Jay is probably one of the few artists. I mean, it's overdone now. But Jay at that time, one of the few artists that was dropping something every year from 96 to 2003.
No, so yeah.
And so by doing that, you damn near had like a certain time period when you knew an interview was going to pop up. You knew an album was coming. It wasn't like he stopped doing features.
But he didn't even give you that many interviews then. He didn't give you that many interviews.
He gave like the local choice. But if you talking about like big MTV
he
stuff,
wasn't on media like that.
But he gave you. You had to be in New York to hear his voice. He wasn't coming. He wasn't coming to GCI or as he wasn't doing none of them.
But think about it like this: is New York at that time? He didn't really need to go anywhere. He had Angie Martinez in Hot 97.
So that's what I'm saying.
Hot 97. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Being readily, Nelly, Eminem were everywhere
because they were. That's why I said Nelly and Eminem were considered like the real pop stars of the rap.
So it gave like 50's point. It gave Jay a mysterious character about him.
But even as a rapper, and I'm like Jay is my one. Even though I've been questioning that lately with the latest this year.
Yeah,
but that's a different topic.
Question that shit.
No disrespect to Jay, but I'm just saying what Kendrick's done. It's kind of got me thinking about that. That's a different conversation. Even if you talk about rappers,
right?
You still have a strong argument for other people. And I'm a Jay fan. You still have an argument for the DMX. You still have an argument for you. Well, I guess you could. I don't want to put Ja Rule in that situation, but you still have
real shit. You got to. I
can't. You have rappers that have done things even at that level that you can put in that conversation with Jay. You know what I mean? Jay has surpassed all that. Jay has done what he's done, and that's part of his story.
Yeah. Because we didn't. So one thing I think T.I. said it. And he was saying this about our interview talking about Kevin Hart. You become the hero, but then you'll live long enough to become the villain. Jay-Z has made it very apparent, and he's been very strategic on how often you see him, so he never becomes the villain to a degree. So he doesn't he gives you just enough to fuck with him, and then that's all he gives you. Even this now,
but that also comes with that era too.
Correct.
Like understanding the level of Mystique, and he's a private person too.
Yeah, that's how he move. I just think that's him.
That's how he moved. But at the same time, that level of accessibility, like you said, is a part of it. Not just with him, but a lot of people from that point.
But then you have somebody like now. I think that's it, and I'm a firm believer in this. I like Kendrick, but the reason why he gets the statement that he gets because he's not readily available. As for a Drake who also is not readily available.
Wait, what's the statement? What you talking about?
Kendrick's he's a mystery sometimes. Like he can drop music, and you really can't question it because he's not available to answer. He don't do interviews. Right. And it gives somebody an aura about them. Yeah. It's a mysterious, but people like mysteries. So if I don't know nothing about you, but you're dropping quote unquote quality music or whatever, it makes you. I can't critique it to a degree. But that's because it can change. I can change my if I don't like you, I can change my criticism about your music because I don't like you. Yeah. The reason why people are changing their criticism with Drake's music, you can say what you want. He does put out good music, but now all of a sudden his music is shit because now you think he's shit.
I don't think people thought he was shit before that.
But what I'm saying is now all of a sudden we're extra critical of his music because now we're extra critical of Drake.
No, I think it's just got louder now. I think if we talk about, so I'm going to start with Kendrick first. If you're talking about Mystique, Kendrick is probably one of the few, just like Beyonce, who come from that old school of thought. If he's going to have something to say, or he's going to do an interview, it's going to be very selective, and that's how it goes. He's going to stick to it, regardless of how much people want him to talk. You got to, this is going to be another thing that sounds old. I remember it being a big thing when Oprah had a fucking Michael Jackson interview. Like that shit was like on Fox. Like it was a big thing to do. But now that since we have everybody that's so accessible to everything, it's almost like there's nothing special behind people because you feel like you already know them as they are right now.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but well, going back to what you're saying, Nelly, even just talking about them two.
Yeah.
That's
Cool.
Just Ja Rule and 50 alone. During that era, that might be one that. I mean, you talking about when CD record sales was at its highest.
Yeah.
Not now or then. We talking about when CD sales, where everybody was selling shit hard, and everybody had that. It could be some arguments that it wasn't the toughest, but I can't argue against it though either.
I think also Nelly just want props.
Oh, he definitely deserved it. Yeah,
because it's really hard to really say because it's like this Nelly. I don't want to say anything crazy. I think Nelly deserves his part only because of the market he was in and how he made it through to sell that much.
Yeah, and then he got
what I mean? He didn't have like an East Coast backing. He didn't have a West Coast backing. He didn't have nobody from the South backing him up. No Dr. Dre, no.
And the Midwest wasn't that that.
Yeah, it wasn't definitely like that. This is even before Kanye, so it's not like he literally just came out of nowhere with a huge record and was able to sustain that without, again, like even now, like I don't hear too many people that's like, man, Nelly saying like somebody helped him out. Like you can't even say like he got. Like Nelly was Nelly, and he made it through. You can't say he was because Pharrell produced him. You can't say Timbaland produced him. Nelly was Nelly. Whether he was like the most lyrical person or not, he was definitely putting out hits.
Even his features. You know, you got Dilemma. His song or was that Kelly Rowland's song?
It was his song.
You got Dilemma, then you got the country joint, and it's all in my head. That shit was hard. But no, I think what it was with Nelly is that I think. His time his time ran its course, and then you had somebody like Ludacris came out of fucking nowhere.
But I don't think Ludacris had anything to do with him.
But it's fucking coincidence that it just happened to.
But even if you put Nelly, let's say you put Nelly and Ludacris, if I'm not talking about like actual,
didn't they do a versus though too?
Yeah,
versus each other, right?
Yeah, Ludacris won.
He should have won.
Ludacris won. But but if you're talking about like the aspect of again, we talking about like success and as an artist or whatever the case may be. He's not nowhere near that.
No, not record sales. No, not record sales. Ludacris never went diamond.
No,
Nelly has right.
Right, the first album.
Oh, they go diamond. Yeah,
I'm saying that's
true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think Ludacris is. Nigga, you get to light my face, bro.
Oh, my bad. Why I got in your face?
I don't know. Look, I ain't them kids, nigga.
Fucking hilarious.
So you gonna show that? You think I ain't see that picture, nigga?
I was putting two together like, not my God.
Oh yeah, falling.
Yeah,
man.
Fuck you in here, nigga. Fuck you in here, nigga. They gonna cancel his ass anyway for that.
All right, so to wrap this up, there, if we gonna do, let's do another verses of that because that's fun. I'm trying to pick one that haven't been done.